You feel completely fine today. No headache, no cough, nothing. You ate breakfast. You walked through the market. You touched a merchant's hand when he gave you your change. That was enough. In 4 days, you will be begging God to let you die. In 5, He might just say yes. If you've ever wondered what the most terrifying way to die in human history looked like, from the inside, you're in the right place. Subscribe and hit the bell, because we go deep into dark history here, every single week. Now, let's go back, way back, to a time when death didn't just knock on your door, it lived on your street. The year is 1347. You live somewhere in Western Europe, maybe a bustling port city like Marseille, or a cramped medieval village in England where 60 people share the same muddy alley. It doesn't matter where you are, it's coming for all of you. The Black Death, caused by a bacterium called Yersinia pestis, has already obliterated Central Asia. It rode merchant ships through the Mediterranean like a silent stowaway, slipping into ports, into markets, into handshakes and shared bread, and the flea-bitten fur of the rats that scurry beneath your floorboards every night. Nobody knows what a bacterium is. Nobody understands contagion. Physicians believe disease comes from bad air, miasma, rising up from swamps and rotting things. Some blame the alignment of planets, others blame God's wrath. You have no antibiotics, no hospitals in any modern sense, no understanding of what is about to happen to your body. What you do have is a community, neighbors who share walls, wells, and prayers. And right now, that community is your greatest liability. The mortality rate in some regions will reach 60%. In certain towns, it will be higher. Some villages will simply cease to exist. Every man, woman, and child gone before the following winter. You don't know any of this yet. You feel fine. You wake up on day 1 the same way you've woken up every morning of your life. The straw beneath you is scratchy and damp. The air smells like wood smoke, animals, and the particular sourness of people who have never had access to clean water. Somewhere in the night, a flea bit you. You didn't feel it. They're designed that way. In that single, unremarkable moment, Yersinia pestis entered your bloodstream through a wound barely larger than a pinprick. The bacteria are multiplying in your lymph nodes right now. Your immune system has noticed something is wrong, but it doesn't know what it's dealing with. Yersinia pestis is a master of biological warfare. It suppresses your immune response, cloaks itself, buys time. Your body is fighting a war it doesn't yet know is happening. You go about your day. You carry grain. You argue with a neighbor about a fence. You eat a bowl of pottage, a grey, thick stew that tastes like nothing in particular. You pet your dog. You are unremarkable, unaware, and utterly infected. By evening, you might notice the faintest edge of fatigue, the kind you'd dismiss as a long day. You fall asleep thinking about tomorrow's work. There will be no tomorrow's work. You don't rise easily this morning. Your body feels like it's been filled with hot sand. There's a headache pressing behind your eyes, dull, persistent, spreading toward the base of your skull. You try to stand and the room tilts slightly. You grab the wall. By mid-morning, the fever has arrived. Not a mild fever, a fierce, climbing one, your temperature rising past 39, past 40 degrees Celsius. Your skin is flushed and burning to the touch. You're shivering, despite the heat. The cold is coming from inside you. Your lymph nodes are swelling. You can't feel it yet. Not exactly, but there's a vague, uncomfortable pressure in your groin, or beneath your arm, or along your neck. It feels like a bruise that hasn't quite surfaced. You press at it absently and wince. The nausea begins in the afternoon. Your body wants to expel everything. It is in full emergency mode. You vomit once in the corner of the room. Your head is screaming. Someone brings you water from the well. You drink it gratefully. The well is shared by 40 households. You're already spreading what you carry. By nightfall, you know something is wrong. This is not the common cold, not a bad day's tiredness. Your body is telling you something is deeply, fundamentally broken. You pray before sleep. In 1347, prayer is your only medicine. You cannot stand up, not without help, not without gritting your teeth against a pain that has taken up permanent residence in your joints, your hips, your knees, your spine. It feels like someone is tightening iron rods inside your bones. Every small movement is a negotiation with agony. The swelling in your lymph nodes has become impossible to ignore. There is a lump now, swollen, hard, burning hot, pressing outward from your groin or your armpit. When the fabric of your clothing touches it, you cry out. When nothing touches it, it still throbs with a deep, nauseating pulse. These are called buboes. They will define your illness. They will give this plague its name, the bubonic plague. Right now, yours is the size of an egg. It may grow to the size of an apple. Your wife has begun to avoid the doorway, not because she doesn't love you, because she has seen 2 neighbors carried out this week. Because everyone on your street is whispering the same word and refusing to say it out loud. The village physician comes, if you're lucky enough to have one. He wears a long coat. He does not touch you. He looks at the swelling, mutters about vapors, and recommends bloodletting or burning herbs in the corner of the room. He leaves quickly. You are developing a skin rash. Small, dark spots are beginning to appear on your arms and chest. Subcutaneous bleeding, where the bacteria have begun destroying tiny blood vessels beneath the skin. They are called petechiae. They look like bruises that never got the chance to form properly. In the coming days, in the worst cases, these will spread. They will merge. They will turn black. This is why some historians call it the Black Death. Nobody comes today. The bubo has grown overnight. It is no longer just painful. It is catastrophic. The skin above it is stretched drum tight and has turned a horrifying spectrum of purple and black. It radiates heat. It pulses. It has become the center of your entire universe. Your fever is now consistently above 40 degrees. You are delirious for stretches of time. Your mind throwing up fragments, hallucinations, prayers half remembered from childhood. You call out names. Some of them are people who are already dead. The smell in the room has changed. Everyone who has been in a room with advanced plague knows this smell, a thick, sweet, putrefying odor that is impossible to describe and impossible to forget. It comes from the dying tissue, from the infection working through your body's systems one by one. Your skin has begun to show the damage in full. The dark spots have multiplied. On some victims, entire patches of skin will necrotize, the tissue dying while the person is still alive. You are thirsty beyond description. Every swallow is agony because the lymph nodes in your throat have swollen. You cannot eat. You cannot sleep. The pain is constant and without mercy. Outside, the church bells are ringing. They have not stopped for 3 days. In a town of 2,000 people, the grave diggers are overwhelmed. Bodies are being buried in mass pits, wrapped in shrouds if there are enough shrouds, in nothing if there are not. Priests administer last rites at the doorway because they will not enter. The social fabric of your world is unraveling in real time. Your family has left the house, not because they abandoned you, but because staying means dying too. Your youngest child was taken to a neighbor's home this morning. You heard them crying as they were carried away. You don't have the strength to call after them. If you are still alive on day 5, you are not one of the lucky ones. You are one of the lingering ones. The bubo may have ruptured in the night. If it did, the relief is temporary and grotesque. Black, foul-smelling fluid draining from broken skin, leaving a wound that will not close. Paradoxically, some patients who reached this stage survived, the rupture acting as a crude drain for the infection. But it is brutal, horrifying, and for most, not enough. Your organs are beginning to fail. The bacteria have spread from the lymph nodes into your bloodstream, a condition called septicemic plague, and from there into every system of your body. Your kidneys are struggling. Your liver is under assault. Your blood is not clotting correctly, which is why the bruising beneath your skin has continued to spread and darken. In the final hours, the internal hemorrhaging creates what looks like dark bruising across massive sections of the body. The extremities, fingers, toes, go cold first. The fever breaks, not as a sign of recovery, as a sign the body has stopped fighting. You die. In your own bed, alone in the dark, in a room that smells of death, while the church bells ring for someone else entirely. You were not exceptional. You were not singled out. You simply walked through a market on the wrong day and touched the wrong hand. Between 1347 and 1351, the Black Death killed an estimated 75 to 200 million people across Eurasia. In Europe alone, it erased between 1/3 and 1/2 of the entire population. Some historians believe certain regions lost closer to 60% of everyone who lived there. Entire family lines ended. Entire villages ceased to exist. The psychological trauma was so total, so civilization-shaking, that it rewrote European art, religion, philosophy, and government for the next 2 centuries. Now, think about where you are right now. You have access to antibiotics. Yersinia pestis is still alive on this planet, still found in small pockets in Asia and the American Southwest, and it responds to a standard course of antibiotics within days. An illness that ended 75 million lives in 4 years is now treatable with a pill. You have clean water, sanitation, germ theory, hospitals with intensive care units, the entire accumulated weight of human medical knowledge standing between you and the version of this story you just lived through. The people who died of the Black Death were no less intelligent, no less loved, no less human than you are. They simply had the catastrophic misfortune of being born in a world that didn't yet know what a bacterium was. You woke up this morning, made a choice about what to watch, and landed here. They woke up, walked through a market, touched the wrong hand, and didn't make it to day 6. If you made it through this, if you felt even a fraction of what those people felt, then you understand why dark history is worth studying. Not to frighten ourselves, but to understand what human beings have survived and what we still carry. If you want to live through more of history's darkest chapters, subscribe. New dark history experiences every week. The past isn't finished with us yet.